Now, I thought that moment at WrestleMania 39 was Cody's moment. You guys explained to me, not his time. Let's get Cody bigger. And you know what? Since that day, up until this past Friday afternoon when Rock made those comments, I have been consistently eating crow to the point, guys, that I'm starting to like the taste of crow because I eat it every day. But after those comments on Friday, I think completely different. Why? Why in God's name would The Rock make the comments that he did on Pat McAfee's show? The match between The Rock and Roman didn't happen at WrestleMania 39. For whatever reason, it didn't happen. But why mention that? Why say that? Because that just kills what we did see at WrestleMania 39. Now the WWE, excuse me, Rock, but it's not all about you, Mr. Movie Star. They actually built a story that the fans are invested in. And they actually have somebody that they love in Cody Rhodes. I'm sorry, guys. You may think differently. I think The Rock spread open his cheeks and shit all over it. Why? Because he said that the match was supposed to be his at WrestleMania 39. And who knows? Maybe it could happen at WrestleMania 40. I'm sorry, Rock. But from my eyes, The Rock was completely disrespectful to the business of the WWE and completely disrespectful to Cody Rhodes. I'm saying it now. You are disrespectful to the business of the WWE by what you said on Pat McAfee's show, and you're disrespectful to Cody that I'm a fan of and millions of people are fans of. The business didn't happen. Get over it. Move on.
Welcome everyone to 3 Count Commentaries. This is your host, MagMongoSlade. So this is going to be an extra video, considering I got very upset during my Raw review and didn't really talk about it. So I have to do an extra video on it. It's okay. I'm actually okay this morning. The conversation around whether Cody or The Rock should WrestleMania 40 main event. I think I've been pretty clear on the subject. I don't think The Rock versus Roman Reigns is actually happening. Dave LaGreca, I guess is he the owner, the boss of Busted Open Radio? He partners with like Tommy Dreamer and Mark Henry and Bubba Ray and all this kind of stuff. But I think he is the guy who actually runs the show. He went on an unhinged rant that I would probably put in here somewhere, probably at the beginning, in which he said that The Rock appearing, The Rock saying that WrestleMania 40 it could happen, is disrespectful to the business of WWE. And for starters, it's unhinged. So I have no idea why he would say that, considering it's not. Does it derail the story that WWE has been telling over the past 2 years? Yes. I think people care about that. Sure. A lot of people want Cody to be the champion. But to suggest that The Rock is being disrespectful to Cody Rhodes, I don't think so. Look, The Rock is selfish. The Rock will do whatever he can do to be liked, because his stock and trade for 20 years has been people like, oh my God, it's The Rock. And then over the last couple of months, especially over the last year or two, people have been sort of on the fence about The Rock. I think ever since his dabble into politics, it's been a little negative towards The Rock. Him not showing up at Survivor Series when they suggested that he would, even though they never promised that he would. It was sort of suggested that he would. Other things that they did that was supposedly for The Rock, and The Rock did not appear. And now he appears in a random SmackDown in the middle of September. And because he was sort of pressured by Pat McAfee to say that WrestleMania 40, I'm open to it. Let's see what happens. He's just telling you what you want to hear. Stop taking what these people say literally. For starters, if it were going to happen, The Rock is not going to tell you 6 months out. Okay? The WrestleMania is not for another what? It's September, it's October, November, January, February, March, April. It's 6 months. They're not going to tell you 6 months out unless there was going to be on screen. Secondly, unless there's a contract signed that somebody has seen, he hasn't agreed to do it yet. He's just publicly said, I'm open. Which, if you remember the Varnell Hill episode of Martin, where Varnell Hill gives this really fake compliment about, oh, if you were in Los Angeles, I'll let you come onto my show. And then Martin flies himself to Los Angeles to be on Varnell Hill's show, only to find out that Varnell Hill was in no way serious about what he said. Because in Hollywood, everybody is fake. That's what's going on here. The Rock is telling you one thing while actively kind of doing another. If he wasn't doing College Game Day and hanging out with Pat McAfee, he probably wouldn't even been on SmackDown either. I know a lot of people want to say, well, it's the Hollywood strike. The Rock needs money. For starters, he doesn't need money. He does need attention, and this is a good way to keep his name out there, especially in a positive light. But he doesn't need money. So what we're looking at here is, until The Rock actually shows up and does anything with Roman Reigns, the likelihood that it's actually going to occur, nil. All right? That is someone giving you a really fake compliment, somebody telling you, oh, you know what, we should go have dinner sometime. You should call me, text me, and then they don't respond to your text. Oh, we should go out to dinner. You call to do it. Oh, I'm busy that day. Clearly, it's fake. And how do I know that it's fake? Because it came from The Rock. And it came because a guy was put on the spot. All right? When Pat McAfee put him on the spot, he came up with, I'm open. Yeah. Come on. It's not going to happen. All right? If it does happen, then I'm wrong, then so what? I'm happy to be wrong. But I don't think it's going to occur. Second, Cody Rhodes, I think currently it's like 36 or 37 years old. He's around the same age bracket as Roman Reigns. The problem is that Roman has been in the top spot for over 5 years, while Cody is trying to get in that spot. So let's say you want to accomplish both things at the same time. How do you accomplish finishing the story and getting The Rock versus Roman Reigns? Now, some people have suggested you do Rock versus Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia. You do Rock versus Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. You do it on some kind of crazy B show to sell a lot of tickets. I don't think WWE would be dumb enough to put The Rock on a B show. Maybe Saudi, because the Saudi princes throw around a lot of cash. So maybe. But I don't think they're dumb enough to diminish the WrestleMania brand by not having The Rock on it. Here's another question. Does Cody really need to finish the story at WrestleMania? Is it possible that instead of having Cody win the title at WrestleMania, that Cody wins the title in Saudi? That Cody wins the title at the Royal Rumble? That Cody beats Roman Reigns somewhere other than WrestleMania? Now, that is actually far more doable, and actually far more likely. But, of course, does it take away from Cody winning? No, I don't think so. I think the moment of beating Roman Reigns is huge no matter where it occurs. It would be a bigger moment if it was at WrestleMania, but I don't think it's really necessary that it needs to be at WrestleMania. So the idea that because Cody is a regular roster guy and he's not quite on that level yet, if you have the both options, I think you have to defer towards The Rock. This is one of these things where you have to ask people to either think with their wallet or think with their heart or think with their brain. And I think two of the three leads towards Roman versus Rock. The story is there, so it makes logical sense. They are related. It's the bloodline story, I think, really peaks with Roman versus The Rock. You can't really do anything outside of that or after that. And, it's a big money match. Now, while some people are emotionally invested in the Cody Rhodes angle, and look, I have been pushing it. I've been saying that Cody finishing the story is a huge emotional moment. His pivot from undesirable to undeniable is a gripping story on its own. And I know a lot of people are not really into it. There's a lot of attitude error marks that are very negative and very overbearing in their love for people like The Rock. Yes, WWE is obsessed with nostalgia, in terms of, The Rock comes back, so The Rock just gets the spot. But we're not just talking about The Rock versus random wrestler. We're talking about The Rock versus Roman Reigns, mainly because of the storyline between the two, which began at the Royal Rumble 2015 when The Rock tried to help him get over. And then it actually leads to something with the bloodline due to them legitimately being related. It makes sense to do that match. I mean, how else do you end this storyline? With Roman just losing the title to Cody and then that's it? The bloodline story is over? No big crescendo between Roman and the elders or Roman and anybody else? And I don't know. And I'm really sitting here considering, how do you end the bloodline story without involving The Rock? The Rock could beat him, or Roman could win, however that chooses to go. I think at this point, Roman doesn't need to win, but it would help him to win. And you finish that story. But the idea that making Cody wait till WrestleMania 41, I don't know. The Rock is 51 or 52 years old. There's a very rapidly closing window of time for him to actually do a match. I don't think he'll do a match when he's 60. I don't think he'll do a match when he's 55. I think that logically, you have to do it while he's still in shape. You have to do it while Roman is hot, and you have to do it as quickly as possible. So if you're going to do it, if Roman and Rock is going to happen, it needs to happen at WrestleMania 40. Cody can wait a couple of months and win it at SummerSlam. He could win it before at the Royal Rumble, or he can win it before in Saudi Arabia, or however we choose to get there. It doesn't have to be at WrestleMania that Cody Rhodes wins the title. The important part of Cody Rhodes' story is that he wins the title. Where he wins it, irrelevant. The only thing that matters is that he wins it. Now, it would be a nice moment if they had a Madison Square Garden show coming up that's going to be televised, or if they had a pay-per-view there. Then the story could come full circle with Cody winning the title in the Garden, just like, it was ripped away from his daddy in the Garden. That would be a fitting end to the story, but you're not going to get that part because I don't think there's a Garden show coming up anytime soon, and not a televised one anyway. So you can forget that. But I think if you look at your heart, your wallet, and your brain, 2 of the 3 will go towards The Rock. The emotion now there is still some emotional element in terms of the bloodline, considering Roman Reigns been carrying the company since 2016, 2017. And, part of that has been people viewing him negatively. He was endorsed by The Rock already. He has been endorsed by, the rest of his bloodline, and to be the new tribal chief. And now The Rock turns around and says, you've gotten too big for your britches. But I don't think you really need a really deep story for the 2 of them. You don't need The Rock on TV every week. You just really need for them to announce that the match will happen. And then maybe a couple of segments here and there, maybe even 2 or 3, to really drill it home. And then that's it. You don't need The Rock there every week. But I think people who are losing their minds because they feel like Cody is being shafted realize that Cody can win the title at any point in time. All right, it doesn't have to be at WrestleMania. And because it doesn't have to be at WrestleMania, if I had a choice, I would go with The Rock. And I don't even like The Rock. But it just makes the most financial sense. It makes the most storyline sense. And it actually helps you wrap up something that you've been doing for the last 3 years. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.